Hello YouTube fans, here again. And I thought I'd talk about this one. Why not, why not? I mentioned the original, why not? Crocodile Dundee 2. Crocodile Dundee 2, what can I say about it? Still a good comedy, but I always look at this one as being more of an adventure film. Look, a bit of action in it and a lot of comedy. Starts off, you've got a date bit where you've got Mick Dundee, he's doing fishing, he's blowing the fishes up with dynamite, and you've got Bobby's in there, the doctor, never a copy when you need one. And they pull him, and then they find it's Mick Dundee, the line says, just doing some fishing. And then you got that epic song again, that epic song, that do 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 do, and I love it. I love it because I look at Crocodile Dundee too, without repeating myself, sort of like a comedy and an adventure film. Now you do get Mick's woman, who she mentioned in the original, she had an ex-husband who used to, be a photographer, who take photos and that, and I forgot to say that in the original. But he's in this in a small scene where he's taking photos and he spots a couple of drug dealers. Thinks he gets away, but then long behold, he's like a buff drug dealers who know where he is. And you don't see it, it's off steam, he's trying to keep the rating mild, but you got the idea he gets killed. But he's actually sent this film to his ex-wife, being Mick Dundee's woman. I love to see where he's looking for a job now and he's trying to better himself. Reminds me a bit of me. And there's a scene where a guy is going to commit suicide, and Crocodile Dundee is trying to talk reason to him. And he says a line, I really loved him. What? And he almost falls. I thought it was like a funny scene. It's quite laughable. This Mick Dundee thinks he's on about a woman and he doesn't know that he's on about a man. So I thought that's like a funny scene. Again, there's a lot of good humour in it. Is it as funny as the first one? No. Is it as good as the first one? No. But I still think it's a good one. Another thing that peed me off is, like I said about the box set of Crocodile Dundee, they only had a few features on number one. This, however, it does have the original behind the scene making back in the day, as well as the original theatrical trailer. And I do like the fact it's in its original widescreen format and it's been digitally remastered. Anyway, to cut the story short, some drug dealers adopt Mick Dundee's woman. Mick Dundee discovers it and goes after them. And I love it because at that point it becomes an adventure film, it becomes an adventure movie. And I'm a sucker for those type of films. I'm a sucker. So it does have humour and levity and so on. I love the scene where he meets these bikers to rescue Mick Dundee's woman. And he says, well, what are you going to do? What we did last week? Nothing. It says, oh, right, so instead of resting a woman and making a name for yourself, you're just going to do around, sitting around and doing nothing. And that's what you call cool. I love to see it. One guy's about to dip him shit and he folds that knife and it sticks on his hair. It reminds me a bit of this ain't a knife, this is a knife, but in this case he uses it, folds it and pins a tie on the hair. So he saves this woman, but he knows that the drug dealers are after him. Even with protection, ain't going to do diggity D. So he decides to go to Australia. So it's kind of like a fast forward back. And like the original way he goes to New York, he goes back to Aussie. You see Big Dip and all the others, what was in the original, including his mate. But then the drug dealers go after him, they abduct his mate. But Mick Dundee, being a badass, saves the day. I love to see where he shoots his mate, and you think, whoa, he shot his mate. But I love to see where he says, his missus says, you shot Mickey, and he says, I only nicked him. So I kind of love that because it's an adventure film. That's that same adventure film. It's more of an adventure film. So he's going after the drug dealers. So you see where he ducks to a form. You've got a rabbit wittiness and Crocodile Dundee. He's making out that they're cannibals. And he says, by the way, my mate is asking, can he eat one? And but I love the scene at the end. He chases the main villain, says to him, get your toes off. And it kind of reminds me a bit of there was a film I remember talking about called Death Hunt with Charles Bronson. Kind of reminds me a bit of that because there's a scene in it where he gets dressed up, the people shoot what they think's the bad guy, and it's not the bad guy. And then Crocodile Dundee's woman's crying, and the guy says, Daddy told Crocodile Dundee, can he finally go and get his boots back? What? Mick Dundee, he owes me them bloody boots back. And then Mick Dundee comes out of it, hugs his woman, that's that beautiful music again, that do, do, And I love it. As a happy ending. And I've forgotten that, and I'm going to be open and honest, I've forgotten how long this film was, Crocodile Dundee 2. I've forgotten how much of a long film it was, but it's one of them I watched it and I didn't get bored of it. Didn't get bored. Has a lot of humour again, just like the first one, like the scene where there's a copper and Crocodile Dundee accidentally breaks something and he's trying to move it away. And the guy's eating this fried egg, and it's not very nice. And the good bit where the drug dealer's boasting to the woman, you know, I make £100,000 a day by selling this, and she's thinking he does a drug dealer. But like I said, the villain gets his well deserves. Dr. Dundee gets the woman, and I love it. I love it. That's why I love getting the two box sets. I'm having doing the next Crocodile Dundee, lost in Los Angeles, was it something to do with Los Angeles? Because to me, 1 and 2 was the best. It come out, let's say, 2 years after the original in 1988, and it's a dud. It's a dud, and why not? I'll sell the box set. This is what I love about the box set of Crocodile Dundee. That's the original artwork on this one. I always like that artwork, you know, it's bidden on a building, it looks like a giant, it's got his woman. That reminds me a bit of the original art cover what was used in A Future a Kill, you know, Roger Moore, and Roger Moore's the Bond girl linking onto Bond's legs. In this one, you've got him holding his woman, larger than life, done by Paramount when Paramount was worth a shit. And I love it. I love the fact it's on the building. And it's an epic film. So I love Crocodile Dundee too. I love it. So why not? Is it as good as the first one? No. But I still think it's a good one. It still has humour in it. It's still funny. It's more of an expensive film. And that's what I love about Crocodile Dundee 2. It is more of a bloody expensive film. So why not give it some points? A 10-star rating, just like the original one. I see no faults with it. I love the box set. I remember getting the box set. But I like the feel of it, and I love the fact it's Crocodile Dundee 1 and 2. If I can open it, I could, but this, however, is a pain in the fucking ass to open, which is a bloody annoying. But I still love it. I like the fact, like I say, it's just, I always look at the first one as more of a comedy and a love story, where in the second one, I always look at it as a continuation, but it's more of an adventure film, more of an action film with comedy thrown in with it. And it's kind of the same way. I never see Paul Walden anymore in a lot of things. He did a lot of films after, you know, a lot of comedies and so on, but a lot of people always remember my mate being Paul Walden as the legend, Crocodile Dundee. And it's definitely down under in this, and I love it. It's a classic. I can watch them both today, and Crocodile Dundee 2. It's just as good as the original. Still has a lot of good humour in it. I love the fact he's still a badass. He's funny. He's wacky. That's Paul Walden. You know what I mean? I always like Paul Walden. In this, I think he has a presence. Like in one, he has a presence. And that's what I like about Paul Walden. He has a presence, and in this, he's still this bitty bloody dud. He's still good. I just love the art cover. I always love the art cover of Crocodile Dundee 2. Same as I like that one, I like this one. And I'd love to have a big fucking dock-off poster of Crocodile Dundee 2, because it's one of my favourite art covers. Look how that sells. Look how them two there, and look how that sells. So that's Crocodile Dundee 2, so in 1988. It's a good one. Into them, I do more movies and more movie reviews on the way. So in them, people, be smart, be safe, and I'll see you later.